Thank you, Speaker. My question is for the Leader of the Government in the Senate, and he may be happy that we're going to pivot in my question to another place, or not so happy. I'd like to focus on Africa in my question. By 2050, the population of Africa is on track to be doubled, according to the UN, making up more than a quarter of the world's population. And African leaders and civil society leaders are keen to engage with Africa, not just on development issues, but also on trade, security, and diplomatic issues. There are 54 countries in Africa. Canada has missions in 21 of them. In the last 15 years, we have closed missions in Gabon, Guinea, Niger, and Malawi, and we have no trade agreements with African countries. So my question is, what is Canada doing now to work with African countries and people to capitalize on this moment of opportunity, not just for the people in Africa, but frankly, for ourselves as well?
Thank you, Senator, for your question. The Government of Canada is very aware of how important and dynamic the continent is to the world economy and to world well-being. Some of the world's fastest-growing economies are found in Africa. I've also been advised that the government is very aware of the changing context of our relationship with African countries and has been working to modernize and strengthen our partnerships accordingly. You mentioned, Senator, the question of trade. Senators, as you may know, Canada supported the negotiations of the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCTA, which came into force just last May in 2019, and Canada was also, I'm advised, the founding donor to the Africa Trade Policy Center within the United Nations Regional Body for Africa, the Economic Commission for Africa. I'm also advised that the government has been pursuing different ways, innovative ways, to finance sustainable development within the African countries. The budget 2018 allocated over $900 million over 5 years for an international assistance innovation program, and the budget also included $620 million for the sovereign loans program, because the development of the economies of the country is also fundamentally tied to the investment in human capital and the ability of African countries to benefit from the window of opportunity which you properly identified. So finally, just to add that according to the information that I have, a particular emphasis is that Canada places a particular emphasis on education and education of girls in Africa. Also a key component both in advancing equality, but also advancing economic well-being. And that was made tangible with an investment of $400 million to provide quality education to girls in conflict zones and in fragile settings, again, for the well-being of the economy and the society, and ultimately for all of us in the world. Thank you for your question.